Step 6 in our development process for part 2 says set xb, yb, xc, yc, xd, yd to appropriate values so that xa and ya are the top left vertices of the square and the other vertices go clockwise around the square. So let's think about this for a second. Remember before in part 1 the big square that we drew started on the lower left and went counterclockwise around. The points went counterclockwise around the square, A to B to C to D. Because we were using logical coordinates, and then we converted these, XA, YA, and all those into device coordinates. So, and that's why we ended up starting on the lower left corner. But so far, what we've got is we're still effectively in device coordinates because remember we're not reversing the direction of the y coordinate yet. So what will happen is at this point, what we want to do is set up the coordinates so that we're doing A, B, C, D, so that so A and B are the points on top, and C and D are the points on the bottom. And then when we switch to logical coordinates, we'll get something that looks like this with A and B on the bottom and C and D on the top. So let's do that. So let's see. So A and D. So A and D are still going to be, even though A is up here and D is down here, A and D are still going to have the same x coordinates. So we know XA equals XD equals XI plus W, right? And let's see, and B and C are going to be the same thing. XB is going to equal XC, okay? And that'll be basically what we can write that is it's going to be basically it's going to be, so this is XA and XD are the left hand side of the square, XB and XC are the right hand side, so we could just say XA plus W minus 1, right? So yeah, we need to remember that we're doing W minus 1 if we're drawing the rectangle or drawing the line as opposed to filling a rectangle. And then let's see, YA and YB are going to be the same. Right, that's Y plus J plus W, and then YC equals YD equals YB plus W minus 1. Okay, so so then yeah, so what's happening then is that, let's see, to get from B to C, or from A to C, we could have said YA here also, right? To get from A to C, we're adding. So what that means in device coordinates, remember when you add, you go down. In logical coordinates, you go up. So when we flip to logical coordinates, we'll have this picture. But right now we have A here and B here and C here and D here. Alright, so and Let's see, was that all we needed to do? Set those to the appropriate values. Yeah, so right now they're at the appropriate values, and then basically the way we'll test this is in the next step. But let's just make sure that it compiles and runs. So we haven't changed anything at this point, but I'm just going to go ahead and run it just to make sure I haven't broken anything here. Make sure it still compiles and everything. Okay, so that compiles. So that's the end of step 6, and then in step 7 we'll actually test this out by plugging in some values.